Hi, this is your host, Min Kim, and today I'm joined by CEO of Xend Finance, Ugo. Ugo is an amazing entrepreneur, and he's actually one of the first people to host a crypto-related meetup in Nigeria. So I'm super excited to share a story here with you guys today, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to Around the Coin. I'm Min Kim, and I'm here with CEO of Xend Finance, Ugo. Hi, Ugo. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, hello, Min. I'm happy to be here. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Very fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here again, Ugo. I'm really inspired just having learned more about your startup and your personal background in the past couple of days. So would love to hear more around where you've grown up and a little more about your personal background.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I grew up in Enugu. That's the eastern part of Nigeria. It's actually a very calm city. It's very secure, and yeah, it's filled with people that small business owners. Yeah, it's a great place actually. And then I also spend most of my holidays in Lagos. Lagos is the city most people will hear about because it has like lots of multinational companies. It has like very huge entrepreneurs there. So yeah, I spent most of my holidays there, and it's going or spending time in Lagos really inspired me, to work really hard. It's a fast-paced city, and I worked closely with my uncle at the time. He has a real estate company, so it was, working closely with him. I learned a lot of things, saw how people, were basically doing business, and people were really, really fast there. So anytime you get to Lagos, it's super fast. You have to be on your toes at all times. Yeah. So that's basically that, and then yeah, that's basically that about my background and where I grew up. And then, of course, I studied at the University of Nigeria, studied electronics engineering. Yeah, so I have an engineering background. Yeah.
That's super impressive. And I recently read that Xend Finance is actually the fastest growing blockchain startup out of Africa. And you're also one of the first startups to build on Binance Smart Chain. And you're also one of the first people to actually start a blockchain meetup in your region in Africa. So I'm just super impressed that you just have this very innovative mindset. Can you tell us more about your first encounter with blockchain technology?
Okay, yeah. So I actually got into the blockchain in 2000 and late 2016, beginning of 2017. And it was my colleague in Finland. He was doing his master's at the time. He told me about the blockchain because in their school, actually, they had like an R&D department where one of the professors was doing so much research on the blockchain. So, and he was really close to the professor. So that's how he started learning about it, and then told me about the blockchain. So I started reading off on like Bitcoin, studied the Ethereum blockchain. He told me I could write code on it. And when I looked at this, it was really interesting because I've always been thinking about, I've been trying to think about something that was new, something that was different, completely different, in the tech space. And looking at the blockchain, I realized that this was going to change a lot of things. Look, having a system that is transparent and also extremely secure, and then a system that people can't really control, a decentralized system. It was an amazing idea that was already live and in front of me. And because it was something that a lot of people did not know about, and it wasn't something that people would just dabble into like that, it really made me want to learn about it more. Because personally, I like to do things that other people don't want to do, right? And I like to solve problems that other people don't want to solve because it's complex, and that's where I like to play in, So I started studying about it, and I was inspired by blockchain.info's wallet at the time. I bought some Bitcoins, stored them there. It was really great, and I wanted to replicate the same kind of system. So I started building my own Bitcoin wallet from ground up, studying how everything worked. I had zero experience in like cryptography and all those things at the time, but I started studying how to do all that stuff. Even got into groups on Jita, like people that created, Bitcoin libraries for creating your Bitcoin wallet and all that. I started talking with them, live on Jita. It was really awesome seeing some, all these great guys I probably see online, like speaking with them in a group. It was awesome. So that's how I started working, created my wallet. I have a lot of apps actually using it now. Also, even did the first blockchain meetup. I organized the first blockchain meetup in the southeastern part of Nigeria. It was really great. When you were speaking to people about the blockchain, they were shocked, how this whole thing could work, and also demoing my wallet at the time. It was really interesting. I even had like a small competition for people to try to hack my wallet, and retrieve private keys. Well, no one did at the time. It was really, really interesting where I offered to give out $1,000 for someone, to anyone who would do that. Yeah, so it was really great, and that was how I got into the blockchain, and that's how I've been building. I built, apart from the wallet, we built like a game that runs with decentralized storage, interplanetary file systems. Created like some other smaller dApps. It's been great, and I've been able to now groom and then come build up some other blockchain engineers with time. Yes, and it's been a great experience actually.
That's super impressive. I love it when I'm talking to a technologist who's super passionate about the technology. And it also seems like you have your co-founder Chima, who you've actually been working working with for 10 years. He was actually your college classmate. So it's wonderful to see a team that has such strong chemistry and such a long history working together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Super impressive. So tell me more about how, in 2017 you looked into Bitcoin and you created one of the first Bitcoin Ethereum ERC20 token wallets. How did you get exposed to the Binance Smart Chain technology, and how did you become one of the first applications to build on Binance Smart Chain?
Okay, yeah. So, well, Zend actually was Binance actually invested in Zend through Binance Labs. That was in 2019. We got into Binance as well, one of the four African countries companies to get into the Binance Labs. Um, from there, we got into the Binance community, started getting a lot of support from Binance, and then in 2020, when Binance Smart Chain went live, we were already working on Xend Finance at the time. We were already working on Xend Finance at the time, and I was speaking with Yele. Yele is the former Binance director in Africa. So he told me about Binance Smart Chain, and it was already live. And I was like, I think it was just 1 week after Binance Smart Chain went live. That's when we started building on Binance Smart Chain. It was super awesome, having a blockchain that had very, very little fees, very little fees, extremely fast, high throughput, and a blockchain that is also EVM compatible. So what basically you can write your existing Solidity code, on your Ethereum blockchain and then deploy it on Binance Smart Chain without changing any single line of code. I mean, that was really awesome. That's something that we really enjoyed. That's a feature that we really enjoyed, because it reduces the stress of trying to learn a new framework and all that. So yeah, so we got into building on the Binance Smart Chain, and we were actually the first African company to create, or African project rather, to create a DeFi project on Binance Smart Chain. And yeah, it was super awesome at the time, building that, and then also Binance has great support, has a great community. They have like grants for projects building on Binance Smart Chain. And I'm not surprised with the current attention Binance Smart Chain projects are receiving at the moment, because it was bound to happen with all these great features and with great support from the Binance ecosystem. It's only natural, that with time, much more projects will migrate, to the Binance Smart Chain area from like the Ethereum blockchain. The Ethereum blockchain is the standard now that most people build on top of, because it's been there for years. It has a lot of support and everything. But yeah, the Binance Smart Chain is doing great now, and I see a lot of projects moving to the Binance Smart Chain, although they will maintain their Ethereum blockchain based projects. But the Binance Smart Chain is actually down where we're super excited to be building on the Binance Smart Chain as well.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I have heard so much around the Binance Smart Chain these days. So it's really interesting that you were one of the first entrepreneurs to really pick up on the value proposition of faster transactions per second and also just lower costs. So congrats on that.
Great. Thank you very much.
So tell me more about this goal of Xend Finance in the next decade, wanting to secure over 10% of the overall global credit union market. That is a really impressive and ambitious goal. So how will you go about trying to meet some of these milestones in order to achieve that goal?
Yeah, so basically, right, what we're trying to do at Xend Finance is something like that's really cool. It's something that actually changes the lives of people. And at Xend Finance, right, we're actually creating a space or an ecosystem that combines the existing non-crypto world, and then the crypto world as well. So we're more like a bridge, right, between the non-crypto world and then the crypto world. Over the years, I mean, you've seen credit unions and cooperatives. They've been there, for a whole lot of years, and some are formal, some are actually informal. And one of the things we realized is most of these credit unions or most of these cooperatives actually face a lot of challenges. And one of the major challenges they face, especially in a continent like Africa, right, is that most of them are always losing value, for the money that they have. Now, because they're losing value for the money they have or the money they've saved or the money they've invested, you realize that that's a major problem. And how are we going to be able to solve that problem for them, right? How do we present something that is able to protect their assets, actually also give them very good interests, right, at the end of the year? So we looked at DeFi and saw that, wow, that DeFi could, by leveraging DeFi, we could basically solve this problem. Also giving these members of these cooperatives access to the global money markets without going through any intermediary, without going through any middleman, without going through any banks. Giving people control of their money and also protecting the money that they have. So what we decided to do was we create this system that will serve the financially underserved and also serve people living in unstable economies to protect them from devaluations. And by doing that, it's only natural that most of these cooperatives, like we already have like cooperatives signed on, right? We have like over cooperatives with like over 5,000 members. We also have another one that is coming on board with over almost 1.2 million members, right? We'll be announcing all these partnerships very soon. So we have these people, and there's a problem they have already, and the existing financial system is unable to solve it, right? So it's only natural that most of these cooperatives will still migrate to the blockchain. And being the first DeFi platform actually for cooperatives and credit unions, I mean, it's very, very important that having the first mover advantage, right, that we're able to acquire as many cooperatives as possible. So what we're basically doing is targeting the cooperatives. It's mostly like B2B, and one of the things we're doing is making it very easy for them to come on the blockchain. Now, that's how we're going to make this work. If being on the blockchain, you realize that most decentralized apps people use have a poor experience, right? There's just so many tools, so many things you have to use to be able to just get an app to work or to be able to use the app. And the people we're actually targeting are people who are not crypto savvy. Because of that, experience matters a lot. So we're actually creating an abstraction, right, from that whole complexity. From the whole difficulty in using a decentralized app, we're creating an SDK that abstracts all the complexity away. So existing Web 2.0 applications, existing fintech apps that have nothing to do with crypto can just plug in Xend Finance, and easily their existing users have access to the DeFi world. The existing users have access to earn very high APYs, and the existing users have access as well to protect their assets and also earn rewards in our tokens when they perform operations on our platform. So this is how we intend to get up to 10% or even over 10% of the existing credit unions, because we're doing this and we're going to be partnering with the existing ones. So we're not actually competing with them. We're actually giving them access or a better alternative to their current investment strategies, to their current savings strategies, giving their users access, to the global market without going through the existing financial sectors or the existing financial system that can be very restrictive. So that is what we're doing, and that is how we intend to get majority of these credit unions on board.
That's super interesting. So when you first came up with this idea, what was the feedback that you got from credit unions and other players in the space?
Okay, so this might sound quite funny, but when I came up with this idea and started building this, the first person I spoke to was my mom. So she's a professor of medicine, and she actually belongs to a cooperative. I actually belong to one, but she has been in house for over 20 years, right? And they have a cooperative in the medical association in their hospital, and I spoke to her about this, and she was so happy to hear it. In fact, speaking to her immediately, I got over $1,000 of support from her, and then the cooperative, because she was like, once your project is live, that I should use this money for them. Now, the good thing about it is she doesn't understand what the blockchain is, because she was like, oh, she doesn't really get the blockchain, which I don't expect her to get, right? And she was like, if the value we're getting is, okay, you're protecting our assets, you're giving us high APYs, then that they are good to go, right? And this was really inspiring. This really encouraged me, to continue to build out this solution, because just the idea alone was great. I actually gave her the paper to study. She studied the light paper, right? And I learned most of the strategies. The strategies were implemented on Xend Finance, especially the one called Isusu. Is more like a contribution strategy that is prevalent here in Africa and also in the Caribbean, where people contribute money, and then within a particular cycle they give everything to one person and all that. So the whole system, the algorithm that manages that, was actually designed based on what I had learned from her over the past like 20 years, because she's been using this, and I've learned it a whole lot. I've learned a lot of things about it. So, I mean, she was just the go-to person to speak to, and it was really great, the feedback we got. So it encouraged me to build this. So after reading the light paper, she was like, yeah, that this is really great, that it was really great, the strategies and everything. So that's basically how we intend to also make sure we capture like a very, very large audience, get people to actually plug in, because the people we need here are the people who are already in this system. And these people don't understand what the blockchain is. I mean, they don't care about what transaction hash is. They don't care about what MetaMask is. They don't care about those things. They are just interested in making sure that, okay, you provide a service or a system that gives them better value, protects their assets and gives them better value over time. Yeah, so it was really received very well, when I spoke to her and her cooperative the first time. Yeah.
That is one of the most unique stories I've heard, especially related to DeFi, because DeFi has historically been one of the most technical spaces. It's really hard for people who've never used any blockchain technology to even configure a MetaMask. And beyond that, it's just hard for them to understand how to use these DeFi platforms. So just tell me more about your vision for Xend around especially the user interface and how you plan to create educational material to onboard people who've never really used DeFi before?
Okay, yeah. So basically, our vision around it and increasing adoption is one, we're working on our SDK. So our SDK, that's our software development kit, is a very simple system that removes all the complexity of MetaMask and all that. So what it does is existing applications, a web app, a mobile app that basically deals with finance, right, can easily just download the SDK, plug it into their mobile apps, and then it will give their users easy access, to DeFi, to the Xend Finance protocol. And how this is really going to help with user experience, because people don't need to worry about maybe MetaMask. They don't need to worry about processing transactions, maybe going to some exchange to buy crypto, and then sending the money to their wallets and all that. No, everything has been abstracted by the SDK. And the good thing is we also have partnerships with fiat to crypto on ramps and off ramps in Asia, in Africa. So it makes the work a lot easier, especially when it comes to people who don't really have crypto, but they have fiat. So they can easily just access it. And another thing we're doing is we're going to be having like hackathons, right? We're building a network. We're going to be building a network of ambassadors, and we're going to be having hackathons in different countries, different regions of the world, where people build on our platform, build with our SDKs, and of course they get rewarded. So that way it drives adoption, and these projects that integrate our SDK will automatically just serve it to their existing users. And we've already for our project, we already acquired some partners already here in Nigeria, and we're also in talks with other partners in different parts of the world, other credit union aggregators, other software companies that manage lots of credit unions, so they can easily integrate our application. Also, our application is not limited to credit unions. Existing fintech applications that maybe do savings or do things like loans and all that can actually just integrate our SDK and have a great experience. Yeah. So I mean that is how we intend to grow, and it's going to be really awesome doing that. Yeah. There's already a lot of reception. A lot of people have been asking us. Some of the developers we've spoken to are like, "Oh, when will your app be live? When will your SDK be live?" So they can integrate it. Currently, we're working on the SDK, and we believe it's going to be live in less than a month. Yeah. So it's great. We're looking forward to that actually.
That's amazing. It's really hard to come by entrepreneurs in crypto who have such an ambitious goal. And I can definitely see your passion when you're kind of describing this vision for your company. I'd love to know more about the African crypto region. It seems like Africa is a really unique part of the world, and it seems like a lot of Africans probably are very active on social media, etc. What are some unique things about the typical African user in crypto that might be different from other regions of the world?
Yeah, okay. So I think when it comes to crypto and Africa, I really think crypto was built for Africa, right? I'm not trying to I'm not trying to like claim it. I'm not trying to say it's just for us, but with the problems we're facing in Africa, especially when it comes to economies, crypto has basically almost all the answers to those questions, and has almost all the solutions to the problems when it comes to finance, and Africa, right? So, for example, Nigeria has the adoption of crypto in Nigeria is really great, but it tilts mostly towards the trading part, right? Nigeria has the highest volume, the second highest volume, right, of bitcoins, traded in the world. It's really remarkable. And one my previous, I had some interview with CoinDesk a couple of months back, and they were like that. They have the Nigeria is the second highest, has the second highest number of readers, on their platform. And I was really surprised, right? They were like, yeah, that these Nigerians are avid crypto readers and all that. I was really, really surprised and very impressed with that as well. Because the thing is, when it comes to Africa, we need a solution like this that enables people to have access to control their funds, to give them access to, things that the banks would, on a normal day, restrict them from having access to for no real reason, right? If I begin to talk about the challenges people face with traditional banks. At times you just receive, you have debit alerts, you get funds deducted from your account without really getting a notification. It's that bad at times. At times you don't have, there's no reason for you to not be able to access your funds. At times you might not just be able to access funds. Maybe you do a particular type of verification, and then another verification is requested. Like, people have so many stories around the banking system here. At times people's funds just get missing. You're trying to access funds, they're like, you can't access the funds. There's so many stories. So it's a system that has been working to a reasonable extent, yes, but with the blockchain, the blockchain transcends all this, right? And it gives us so much access. It gives us so much access. And Africans are super smart, super brilliant people, that restricting Africans is so bad, because it's more like restricting the world, so to speak. Because if we have the youngest population, right? Or the youngest population actually in the world. And you see that so many young people here, there's so much workforce, there's so much strength, and the world is now digital, right? It's not really about physical work and everything. So if you restrict this, and when you restrict people's finances, basically you're like restricting everything about them. So blockchain and Africa are two things that, that need to work a lot better. And I know I've been speaking about blockchain in the aspect of cryptocurrencies, but there is more, the technology can do for us. There's just so much more. Just like I mentioned, some like decentralized storage. You can see things like decentralized computing. You can see things like real estate management, land use. Like, there's so much applications. Okay, so there's just so much between the blockchain and Africa, and I think here, this is one place where the blockchain really needs to be applied. And I'm super happy we're already doing that. Like, I've gotten so much calls. Like, every other day you have calls, you have emails with people, like DMs in Twitter, with people saying that this solution we're building, this thing we're building at Xend Finance, is really what we need here in Africa. And I can't really express how happy I am doing that.
That's amazing. I actually did not know that for CoinDesk, Africa is actually the second most trafficked or region in terms of that website. So that is super fascinating. And I also think I read a statistic saying that those internet users in Africa are using their mobile phones to access the internet. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's very correct. Yes, for most parts, yeah.
So what do you think about the DeFi use case and how it translates to mobile? Do you think that most people right now in DeFi are using mobile, or are they using the browser, or both?
Yeah, so most people in DeFi now are using the browser, are using their PCs, right? But that is why we at Xend Finance are actually creating an SDK, right? So with the SDK, it works really easily on mobile. Like, all the complexities abstracted. So for Africans, there isn't going to be any problems at all, because most people here use mobile phones, especially Android phones, because it's really cheap. It's really cheap here. So most people have Android phones here. So for them to access our platform, they can just open up their phones and they have real access. So yeah, it's something that is true, and it's something that is going to continue, for the foreseeable future. Because another reason why people use smartphones, or mostly phones here, is one of the problems we face at times is unstable power supply. Because of that, most phones, people have power banks, that they can just plug to their phones, and they can have 24 hours. Their phones are on for 24 hours. Whenever there is power, they can charge the power banks and charge their phones as well. But computers don't have, or PCs don't have that much battery capacity, so it's a lot easier for them to access their phones. And young people here, like I said, we are young people here are very ambitious, and they are always on the move. They are always on the go. So because of that, they can easily access their phones, do their gain access to crypto, gain access to DeFi, and then very quickly sort themselves out. Yeah,
That's amazing. I'm super in awe that you've accomplished so much so far, and I definitely would love to learn more about just the broader crypto ecosystem right now in Africa. I know that Xend is one of the leading startups in Africa right now. What are some other startups that we should look out for that are currently coming out of the region?
Okay, yeah. In the crypto space, we have great. I think I can say we have like Bundle, and there is Bundle. It's a social app for sharing crypto. Sharing your fiat currency and crypto. We have Bitcoins. We have BitSeeker. We have Yellow Card. These are projects that enable you to gain fiat. You can get your fiat. You can convert it to crypto. I'll call them exchange. So they are basically exchanges that enable you to get your fiat, convert to crypto, send your crypto across to anyone. And also make payments for utility bills. Make some payments in crypto. And they're really doing great. They are really doing very, very well. Posting good transactions. The adoption is great. So, and it's great that the ecosystem is thriving this way, and we are actually encouraging more people to come on board, especially when it comes to the DeFi space. So, in the DeFi space, for now, in Africa, I haven't seen projects like coming out of the DeFi space, other projects from the DeFi space in Africa, right? Yeah, so that's why we're even encouraging more people, seeing how we can provide support, for people who are going to be building DeFi-based projects, from Africa. So it's something that is really great. But I'm happy that the whole crypto ecosystem, the blockchain ecosystem is growing. At least we have exchanges that are coming out. We even have crypto media focused media focused companies. One of them is called Crypto TV Plus. We have really big crypto projects. You can see Abit Network. Abit Network is a coin called Tatcoin. These are crypto projects that are doing great. And with more of crypto projects coming into the ecosystem, I think it's going to be a huge boom. Africa will be really, really hot in the next couple of months, or even in the next couple of years. Yeah,
That's great. So I know personally after this podcast, I'm definitely going to go and research more about the African crypto ecosystem. But what are a couple of Discord channels or Telegram channels that I should join if I'm interested in learning more?
Okay, I think you should join. Of course, you should join the Xend Finance Telegram channel. That's number one. Then two, you should join the Binance Nigeria. So there's Binance Nigeria. You should join that. Now, Binance Nigeria has the highest level of discussions currently on crypto. Anything crypto, you can get it from Binance Nigeria. You can also join Crypto TV Plus, like I mentioned. That's like the media that we have here, focused solely on crypto. They've been doing so much work, so much great work, and they're based in Nigeria. You can also join Abit Network. Yeah, so Abit Network is it's a network of different products that run on a particular coin called Tatcoin. So yeah, these crypto communities I mentioned in total will have over 100K users, right? Over 100K members on Telegram. For Discord, yeah, some of them still have existing Discord channels as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, these are the channels you should look out for, and then you can do more research to see what other channels to join. Yeah, another thing is I think another place to check out would be Clubhouse. Some crypto. I don't have their usernames yet. Yeah, but then some crypto communities are springing up. Some African crypto communities are springing up on Clubhouse, and it would be really great to check them out. Yeah.
That's great. So one of the last questions I wanted to ask was I noticed that your mother is actually an entrepreneur herself. She ran a very successful clinic with up to 3,000 patients.
Yeah.
So how do you find inspiration from her? And how do you think that entrepreneurship really runs in your blood? And then on the flip side, how do you think that running a traditional business is different from running a crypto business?
Yeah. So, yeah, about my mom's business. I mean, one thing I can just say I've learned from that is, patience, persistence, perseverance, and dogged hard work. I mean, these are things that I mean I picked up from her. I even worked in her business. I worked in her clinic at times when she doesn't have people to help out. Let's say during some holidays, I can work for a couple of months, talking to patients, maybe I'm not a nurse or anything, but I mean, I could do some basic things, and what that taught me was that I could learn anything. I could basically learn anything. I know a lot of things about the medical field now that I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised I know them because I mean, I've sat down with her, I've worked with her, I even studied some medical, journals and all that stuff because I mean, it's good when she speaks a lot, I learn really quickly, from her and all that. So yeah, I really learned, and also another thing was a sense of responsibility because she were four boys. I mean, I have three brothers with four boys. Training four boys, and my dad was also like really supportive. Has also been really supportive. Training four boys in Nigeria is not so it's not very easy. It's really tough. So there's so much responsibility. So getting returns from her small business, using it to train us, it was remarkable really. So I learned all those things, and I also knew that from her it's also sacrifice. I mean, sacrifice was it being able to put other people first before yourself. I mean, that is one thing I have done over the years, over the past 5 years of running different software businesses. That's one thing I've done. Being able to put other people before myself because that's the best way to gain trust. Like I mentioned, I think in the former interview I had, I've invested most of my resources into people because human capital is something that is invaluable, really. So yeah, so that's basically how that's basically one of the things, different things. Those are the things I've learned from her. And then when it comes to running a traditional business and a blockchain business, yeah. So when it comes to running a blockchain traditional business, I mean you have to. The difference there is that the traditional businesses are there is like a template, so to speak, where because a lot of traditional businesses have been in existence over years. I mean, uh, like you can speak of hundreds of years. There has been a template. There has been things that people have been building on top of. Things have been evolving. These templates have been evolving and getting better. So it's a lot easier maybe to bring in, should I say, maybe a consultant or bring in someone that has more experience to help drive your business. But when it comes to the crypto business, it's quite different, right? Because there isn't a template, so to speak. A lot of people are still figuring things out, right? Even Binance is still figuring things out. I remember like 2 days ago, CZ was on Twitter asking people for help on how to manage customers, right? I mean, these guys are still figuring a lot of things out. Binance is probably just about 4 years, right? Yeah, so these crypto companies are still at very early stages. But that's actually the most exciting part of everything. Like, to be honest, personally, I really like to do things that don't do, things that other people have not figured out how to do. because it's that process of figuring things out that actually makes you like builds you up. It's that process of figuring things out that makes everything really interesting. There's no guarantee that things will work, but just knowing that there is a chance, even if it's just 1% chance, right, of something working out. I mean, that works for me, really. That works for me. So that's basically the difference between the crypto, from my own view, the crypto business and the traditional business. The traditional business has templates that people can build on, but for the crypto business, there isn't any template. So you just have to figure things out. And I'm super excited to do that. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm super excited to follow your progress. It's one of the most fascinating stories that I've heard so far on this podcast. So, definitely I think our listeners are also very excited to follow your progress as well. So tell us, one last thing. So how can our listeners follow your progress, obviously, and also help or contribute value to your startup in any way?
Okay. So basically, yeah, so they can follow our progress by following our Twitter account. It's at Xend Finance. They can also follow us on Telegram. It's like at Xend Finance as well on Telegram. Or they can visit our website. I'll really advise everyone to visit our website, which is zen.finance, and then follow the social media handles there. It's a lot safer, because there are so many projects, creating mimics or creating like duplicates of our platform. And we really don't want anyone to get scammed out there. Yeah. So, and how they can contribute basically is by just being active members of the community. So we have a lot of interesting things going on that will be coming up very soon. We're going to be coming up with different programs, representatives in multiple countries. So, I mean, there's a lot going on. And even in the past, we've had a great contribution from the community members. It's been super awesome. From finding bugs on our testnet, to giving us great ideas on feature implementations, and we've been working on every single thing. So I mean, we are basically like is a canvas where people can write, can just make their drawing, or a sheet of paper where they can write their scripts. And we're really happy. We're very receptive. So we want people to be able to tell us, what they feel, and then we can now implement those things. And that's the whole essence of having a community that is very objective, a community that always wants to see everyone grow. So that's basically what we need from them when people join, giving us their objective and honest feedback, and then we're able to implement, we're able to iterate, and then we're able to grow. So yeah, so that's basically how I would like people to contribute, and how it will help us grow as a project.
That's great. Well, is there an email that people can use to contact you as well, or a Twitter handle that you recommend people use to follow you and shoot you a message?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there is my Twitter. Yeah, people can actually contact me on Twitter. Twitter is why they can follow me on Twitter with at Aronu Ugochukwu. Yeah, so at Aronu, yeah, Ugochukwu at Aronu Ugochukwu. Yeah, that's my Twitter handle. They can text me, send me a DM on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, because I'm always, speaking about things that have to do with DeFi, also things that have to do with our project and how people can get the best out of our project. Yeah, so yeah, you should do that actually.
Sounds great. Any last words of advice for anyone who's an inspiring crypto entrepreneur or anyone who wants to enter the space?
Oh yeah, so my advice would be get in now. And it's never too late. It's never too late. Get in now. Get into this crypto space now, because it's defining the future. It's defining how things are perceived. It's defining how we interact with things. So yeah, I'll just advise anyone that's looking at getting into this space to get in now. Yeah, just get in now. You don't need to know how everything works. I mean, I don't even know how everything works, because there's so much going on there. But get in now, and maybe you get in, you just learn on the go. You learn on the go. Yeah, that would be my advice.
Sounds great. I love that advice as well. If you're listening out there, get in now. So, thank you so much for being here on the show. I really enjoyed having this wonderful conversation, and definitely looking forward to following your progress. So, thanks so much again, and hopefully we can have you on a show again next time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. I'm super happy you were able to make our time to have me here. Thank you very much. And thanks to the community. Thanks for everyone listening. Yeah, and we hope to see you guys in our community. Thanks.
Sounds great.